Well, good evening and welcome to this evening's of Inspire our Spotlight on local businesses. We are so excited to be able to spotlight those who are businesses in our communities that are right in our back doors that we should all want to support and take part in. And our first guest here is a part of real estate and property management, which I've always heard in terms of profession wise, getting into is not just easy. People think you decide you want to sell houses or become property manager. It ain't like that. So we want to introduce our guests today. I know Key said they are longtime friends, so
Yes.
in introducing her and having her be a part of this show so that she can give a little bit of insight about becoming and on her journey and being in real estate. But before we go there, I want to talk about Inspire and the platform and what this platform has done for those who have come on to want to talk about their journeys and shared their journeys with us. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to use tonight to be a light to spotlight people who are in the field of whatever they're doing and how it's actually created a path for them. And for Aspire has shared those journey with many people from all walks of life and all backgrounds for celebrities. Is for everyone to share their journey and how they've reached the success in their careers. And it hopes that it inspires the youth as well as others. As we always say at the end of the show, that if you know someone who journey like that and you want to have them on the show, please do so by emailing us at inspiredbyanaz@gmail.com. But without further ado, I want to welcome to the Business Spotlight Eva to the stage and have her give a little background, and it's Eva EJ, on what she talks about in her business and what has made her business so successful and generations really.
Thank you so much, ladies. Good evening.
Good evening. We are so
So,
excited to have you here.
no, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know I
So,
had to get you, but you're here now.
I'm here. I jumped.
And your
Look, it's
first
all about
live,
that lead.
which is great.
Exactly. So, Generations Realty and Property Management, we are a veteran and minority owned, true minority and veteran owned business. I've been in business, had my license since 2001. We are located in Essex County, city of South Orange, New Jersey, right on Irvington Avenue, next to the car wash. You can't miss us.
Okay. Wow.
Um, we are a full-time real estate office. We provide services for sellers, first-time home buyers, also property management. We also do, but we also specialize in Essex County, Union County, and Middlesex.
Hmm.
So we try to match buyers up with a program that might work for them. We have clientels from all walks of life and all salary based. So we need to know programs that can work for them. Not all programs work for everyone, and that's
Yeah, and that's one of the things that people don't know in terms of wanting to take the leap into buying. And they're like, well, I probably can't afford anything. Well, I don't even know where I would even get started. And you all help them connect with
yes.
programs that was, because I know when I first bought our home, we went to a program that explained how you can get to a home by helping you save money. And then, as you save, you would gradually put that money towards it. So people don't know there are programs out there that's like that will help them get into that stage of home buying.
Right, there are. So, I mean, the first step is to definitely plan. You don't wake up one morning and say, I want to buy a house or drive by,
Mhm.
a real estate sign. You definitely have to plan.
Yeah.
And, know what your credit looks like. That's very important.
Hmm.
There are programs that does help you with down payment assistance. There's also programs for service people, firemen, police officers, teachers, that kind of thing. So you need to know exactly where to find these programs. They're not always, readily available. So you need to work with someone who actually has the networking and the contacts to get you into those programs.
What do you think has been a misconception for first time home buyers coming into the process of things that they didn't know that you think they should know prior to getting to the stages of you contacting a real estate agent?
So our primary clients are actually first time home buyers. So the
Mm.
misconception is I don't have enough money down, or my credit isn't good enough. So right now, I mean, I have mortgage reps who can work with people at 580. You may get the higher interest rate. Ideally, you want to be at least, 640, even better if you're in the 700s, because you'll get the better interest rate, combined with, of course, having your own savings.
Right, because that makes a difference. They want to know what cash that liquid you got on hand.
Yes, exactly.
Now, what about for those who have not had great credit or maybe have had bankruptcy? Is it hope for them to ever become a homeowner?
There is, because of actually, even if you've been foreclosed on, you can you can have another mortgage. You have to wait for about 3 to 5 years, but you can refinance again. It's not, the end all be all.
Well, let's talk about the other side of the business, and that's being an actual agent and also the property manager part of my sister, who after 11 tries became an agent in Atlanta. And I was so proud of her because she never gave up. But people don't understand that test is not for the faint of heart.
It really isn't. Yeah, especially if you're an adult and you do adult things and you got adult bills. You have to dedicate yourself to the training and, to studying and also doing the state tests.
Yeah, because I know even my best friend, who her husband wanted to become the inspector. He's tried and tried again. Like, these tests, people don't think that you have to know everything from the nuts and bolts of my house to the economics to laws, especially when it comes down to state. And then if you want reciprocity in another state, you've got to take another test. So it's not like you can just become it overnight. So explain the process and how it became for you. But you just like a ingenue who just got everything and knew it the first time. Was it an easy transition for you getting your license?
No, it wasn't. I mean, I just knew, I was born in Central America and I came to the United States. So I'm an immigrant, and being here, my great grandparents and my parents always owned homes. And I've always seen how it brings families together. So I've always loved real estate. I've always, had a place to go. So I started in 2001. That's when I took my real estate course. The course itself is 75 hours. You can break it up into going to full-time for 2.5 weeks. Or if, of course, we have full-time jobs, there are some schools that do evening classes, which will prolong it, but, you can get it done. So in 2001, I did that, and I was working for a major franchise. So I've always worked for major franchises. So when I branched off with Generations Realty, which was about 5 years ago, I've already had the experience being in corporate, which was beneficial.
I was going to ask that question about the transition from being under a major. People think about majors. There's an X's and a record and all those. And starting out there, do you suggest that that's the route you should initially take before leaping on your own?
It's all case by case. It's up to the individual. Yeah, it's up to the individual. So even when you have your real estate license as a realtor, you are not automatically eligible to take the broker's test. You have to have been actively selling for a minimum of 3 years. Your current broker also has to give you a character letter. In addition to that, you have to take additional training. So it's not automatic. You can't have a realtor who's been full-time, has a full-time job, and hasn't really sold anything, 1 or 2 properties. You have to sell a certain amount of units. I don't know what the units are right now. It was, a long time ago, but I know you have to be of good character. You have to have the hours, and you also have to be sponsored.
Got it. Yeah.
So it does take, a while to get the broker's license.
And so talk about the property management side, because I know people talk about flipping houses all the time. When I think about property management, I think about apartment complexes. Does that go underneath that umbrella if someone has a home and they just have the money to flip the house, but they don't have to deal with the actual rental part of it? Does that fall underneath your umbrella as well?
It does, because we have out-of-state buyers who, New Jersey is one of the top states, even though, we have high expenses. There's a lot of out-of-state clients who purchase in New Jersey because of the, higher rents and stuff like that, but they don't have the manpower to do the snow removals, collect the rents, or know the, landlord tenant laws in order, to if they ever needed to process anything.
Mm-hmm. So that's where you come into play, and you have a team of, how does that work with, your business? Like who falls underneath your team with you?
So it is owned by myself and my husband. We
Mm-hmm.
also have 3 licensed realtors. So here at Generations Realty, we are a small business. We are a Main Street business. So we're not looking for, massive clients. We're looking for face-to-face, one-on-one. And we pride ourselves on, personal touch, which it's already a scary process. So a lot of our clients come to us because, we treat our clients as family.
Yeah. And if you had to give advice to someone who's looking to start or get into this, what would you say to them in terms of what they need to know as far as becoming a real estate agent, as well as the home buying side? So if you could speak to both.
So to become a real estate agent, I mean, it's not the lottery. You have to put work into it. You have to have your boots on the ground, and it's not, you're going to make all this money the first year. It takes time, to get out there, for people to know, recognize you as an expert in that kind of stuff. So to start, you can still have a full-time job, especially, if you're well known and a trusted person. This can actually be, a second job for you. On the weekends, you can show houses and also, build up clientele that way.
Mm-hmm.
And which a lot of people do.
And that's probably one of the things that people don't realize, that is something that it takes that effort to go into building it up, and you could still maintain a job and do this until you get the clientele and the revenue to be able to go and, maintain this as a lifestyle, or as your livelihood as well. And then speak to the point of, like, as far as the home buying thing. I know we talk about the misconceptions, but if someone's, at the transition stage and they have the capital, the liquid assets to be able to now do that, or even they're on the flip side, they haven't, what advice would you give them to start looking and what they should do first?
Well, the very first step is definitely getting pre-qualified. You have to speak to a mortgage professional, and you want to start with, what is your don't look at the sales price. Look at what is your comfortable monthly payment. Based on that, the mortgage rep can, determine what price range you should look. But number one is definitely your comfortable payments. We have individuals, friends and families alike, that, are currently paying $2,500, $3,000 a month for rent. So the misconception is, a house is going to cost more than that. Not necessarily, depending on the price range.
Yeah. And I've always thought about that in terms of people who would spend that kind of money on an apartment versus a home. But there are those who don't want the maintenance of the home. They think that if the roof caves in, this is going to be the end of the world. But
right. So I mean, alternative to that, would be a townhouse or a condo. But at least
HOAs.
Right. So you have to weigh it out.
Yeah. But if nothing else, I always say is, it's based on what you want for yourself. I always feel like that's the thing that people forget about, the generational wealth and how that's, come about. Investment is like the number one way for people to create generational wealth.
It's 90% of wealthy people, they have gotten to where they are because of real estate. Yes. You have to own the land.
Yes. Well, you know what? We are so thankful that you came on. And I know, is this being your first time, and when you coming on with us, that, I can ask 1,000 more questions, but we wanted to thank you so much for coming on and sharing that little bit of your journey and highlighting and spotlighting your business. And for those who are looking out for wanting to get into real estate and wanted to think about buying a home or have a property want to get managed, and making sure you look out for Generation Realty.
Absolutely.
CO's Eva EJ Irby. Okay. She's a Google away. So although we don't have to look, there's a website right there. So y'all can find it right there below. Well, we thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Well, that was amazing. I love to hear the stories of people and how they got started, knowing that she has a story of an immigrant, which is a good majority of our country, and how they got started, and that she has strived so hard to make her business a success, and she's doing that in partnership with her husband. But we have another spotlight this evening that we have with us that we are excited to have with us some women who decided to took their hands into fashion, and not just regular fashion, consignment fashion. These women wanted to, branch out and to start a business that allow women to curate a style of their own, and that they were going to be able to do that for themselves by creating a store, a consignment store, a thrift store, how you may see it. So right now, I would love to introduce the ladies of Distinct Flavor. Hello there.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing quite well. I'm looking for my partner. I know she said she was waiting.
Oh, I was just going to say, are you joining? Is someone else going to be joining us? But if not, you're just as good. I know you have probably a great representation of the business, so we appreciate you for joining us, and we can get started. And if she comes in later, then we can bring her in, and we can nothing else, wrap up the show with getting some more input and insight on how you all decided to start out with Distinct Flavor Fashions. And like I was reading, it was so enticing to see how you all, branded, not just being a store that just put clothes into a place for people to come shop. You actually have a place where people can get somebody help them shop and create fashions and looks for themselves that they didn't think for themselves, or if they just want to come get a designer bag. But you have both sides of that. So what made you want to step out and decided to open a business like that?
So I will say that one of the biggest things is that both my partner and I, we love. She said she's here. Is she? Do you see?
Yes, she is.
Is that
we got Sheila W.
Hello.
So as I was starting to say, Shanna, the question was, how did we get into and why did we decide? And as women, we've always loved fashion, right? As friends, we grew together to learn about what we love to share the most, which is just shopping. I've always loved shopping. But as we moved into a space where we're finding that people are spending entirely too much money and we become very wasteful. We all have closets of items that they have tags on, we don't use them. So then the question was, well, what do we do? How do we just share this fashion that we have with other people? And we just, Shanna actually started selling her stuff on Poshmark. Right, on Poshmark, and we'll get to talk about Poshmark. And I was watching on Facebook how there were some women who were actually just doing that, selling items straight out of their closets. So we talked together. It started out as 3 of us, and then it's now just the 2 of us that have moved forward with Distinct Flavor Fashions. And as you mentioned, we not only have thrifting and consignment, and we'll talk about what the difference is, because there is a difference, and people use those words and terms interchangeably, but there actually is a small difference. But in addition to having our space where we have people come in to just like we do personal shopping, you'll tell us, this is what I'm looking for. This is my size. This is my style. And we'll pull items. We'll do some sourcing and procure a bunch of items for you. You'll come in and we'll have a whole rack of items for you to select from, decide whether they fit, not fit, if you like them. And then you go away a happy customer.
Well, and to that point, Shanna, I want to ask you, and tell me if I'm saying your name wrong. Is Shanna?
It's Shanna, yes.
Shanna. So were you said she was saying you were selling stuff on Poshmark. Some people just do it to make extra cash, or some people just got an overflux of stuff in their closet and they're like, I ain't worn this in 10 years. It's time for me to get away. Is that like what the origin of your desire to become this kind of person who navigates the cash, or just my closet's just getting too full?
It started out like that. It started out like that. But then the more we got into it, the thrifting, and one of our that we go on their platform, she said it just with these words: why pay more? We can pay more, but why pay more if you don't have to?
Yeah.
Like I love designer. we could find so many vintage and designer consignment. Like someone today asked me about some Christian Dior shoes. And the first thing I asked her, because she wanted to put it on our platform, is it my size? And I went to look them up. They're $1,000 pair of shoes, and she's gonna let me have it for $150.
Oh wow, that is amazing.
So why pay more when you can pay less?
Right. Well, and as you said, Sheila, earlier, that there is a difference between thrifting and consignment. Break that down for people who are not those novice and knowing what that difference is.
Right. So the difference is basically how you get your inventory, right? So if you generally you hear about Goodwills and Salvation Army thrift stores, and they get their inventory from people donating to them. The only person who gets the financial rewards from selling those items is Goodwill and Salvation Army. Whereas consignment, the same things that you want to donate to the Salvation Army and or Goodwill, when you are consigning with organizations, you bring your items to them, and then there's a percentage that is agreed upon between you and the seller, and then that's where the consignment comes along. When you think about Poshmark, you do all of the work. You post it on, you share it, and they take 20%. That's technically some consignment because you get a portion and they get a portion. When you go and give your stuff to Goodwill, you just give it to Goodwill and you walk away with nothing in your hand. Yeah. So the difference really is how you get your inventory, and different not organizations, but different stores and sites have their percentage based on what works best for them.
Well, should I talk about the fact that some people feel like, wear clothes and this I want to wear, and I love how you all call it pre-loved. I love that. So talk about the fact that people don't have a view about what they think, secondhand or pre-loved is about.
Well, I have to say, in our community specifically, it is a problem. It is for a long time. There was a stigma attached to it, right? That you don't use secondhand. And oftentimes when you think about some of the things that we've all given away, many times it has price tags on it. They're brand new, or we get hand-me-downs, right? We all grew up getting hand-me-downs. So what difference is that? There are beautiful items that are still out there. And what it also does, it decreases the amount of waste that we have in the society, right? Our generation is a little bit less involved than the younger generation. They understand just how important your footprint is in the environment. So they're more likely to do thrifting than we are. So it's something that's new to our generation and our community, but it's so important, and I don't see why we shouldn't do more of it. So I'm glad to have this opportunity to talk to people in our community, let them know it's okay.
It is. And I listen, I grew up and I believe in it. I don't like the word because people have such a negative connotation of the secondhand. So I love the fact that you all put a spin on it and having it say pre-loved, because it does make a difference that, you're getting something that people took care of and they're now giving it to you. Like, I have items for my children when they were babies. And, so I love those items. And so that's why I would give it to someone else, because it had meaning to me. But talk about the fact, as far as a business side of it, you have your Poshmarks and all these online sources. Why a brick and mortar too, in addition to just solely doing online?
To have clients to come in so you could interact with clients. We have now people and clients that come in that want to drop off items, and we go through it. We look through it. We had one client, her mother passed away, and her mother had some beautiful things. So she didn't want to just drop it off. She wanted us to go through it to see what was of value. We even do curbside pickup. Okay. We have two clients. We went to their house. She had everything laid out, hung up for us, and we just went through it. So now the weather is changing. Now we're starting to go in because she's moving to Florida. So we're going to get all her mink coats and everything. Wow. So it works. When you have a brick and mortar, you meet clients. They want to see what you have. We have clients that tell us, hey, don't put it on a live. I want to see what you have first. They'll come in and pick out things.
Well, nothing else. I see the passion in both of you all, and I see that you all are very passionate about it. I have a friend that literally she will be all day long on a Saturday get up, go thrifting. Like it is like her other passion in life besides her popular plants.
Yeah.
And like literally she gets up and like it's I guess because like a treasure hunt. It's like when
is.
you go and you find these things, you're like, oh, and so you feel like you have literally have created a treasure hunt for yourself. So I appreciate you all for sharing that passion and telling us about why you all wanted to start a business like this, and even just starting a business. I know that had to be. So what advice, just from a starting business standpoint, would you give someone?
But one of the first things, and something that we're still growing, is to understand what your brand and who you are. There are so many different sellers. There are so many different people who are in this business, but you have to really separate yourself from the rest, right? And when we talk about distinct flavor fashion, that's the reason why we came up with that name. One thing that I would like to say from someone who she owns one of the largest online platforms that we've gone to. Every woman that buys a dress is not your customer. And you have to understand that, right? And once you know who your customer is, then you are able to set up your expect. They are able to come to you. They know when they come to Distinct Flavor Fashions, they know exactly what they're going to get. They're not going to get the trendy outfits, the things that everybody that you see across the street wearing. It's very separate. We're classy, we're distinct, and we have a certain level of branding that we have and that we're keeping within ourselves. So I think that it's important to know who you are, know who your customer is, and stick to that. And it's okay that there are people who are different. It's okay. There's enough space. There's the Walmarts. There's the Nordstroms. There's the Macy's. And all of them are in business because they have different customers for different reasons.
And should I just speak to the marketing part of it? Because I know you stated that you all do a live that promotes the products. So talk about how important that is for business to make sure that they're staying in front of it all the time and using social media to promote.
Social media plays a big part of it. And social media helps build your brand. Sheila always gets at me about promoting and marketing, meaning you have to wear your item. And marketing. Let me tell you, when I go in now to drop packages off at the post office, I'm busy handing out cards. They're taking their, because when you see me, you see Distinct Flavor Fashion. We market our own brand. We wear what's in our boutique. If we're not going to wear it, then you're not going to wear it.
Exactly.
I love that. And listen, I was just thinking when you were saying about a family dropped clothes off at the someone pass, you're gonna need to pass out flyers at funeral homes because that's a time when people don't know what to do with these clothes. Like seriously, like promote there. You don't think about that because they'll just take stuff to Goodwill, and that's how Chanel purse ends up there. But you'll never know. But we thank you all so much for coming on and sharing your journey and sharing your path to opening up Distinct Flavor Fashions, and we wish you both so much success. And I'm going to be looking out because I know I'm a designer something too, without them full prices be like, oh, I got children to put through college. So,
so we're so appreciative for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I would say another thing to you. My grandmother used to always say, we're not wearing hand-me-downs. We're doing hand-me up.
Yes, I love that. That's why I said I try not to use it because I know there's negative connotation to it. But like I said, I believe in a good thrift. My kids will wear somebody else's clothes in a minute. So somebody took shoes off their feet, was like, "You want these? Yes, give them to me." Well, you all make sure you check out Distinct. Make sure it's the website here at the bottom. DistinctFlavorFashions.com. And I checked the website earlier. I was like, okay, purse, okay, shoes. So y'all better jump on it because it's one-of-a-kind items that you only can get there at Distinct Flavor Fashions. We thank you both, Sheila and Sheena, for coming on and sharing your journey with us. Much success to you both. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And thank you all for joining us this evening on Inspire's Small Business Spotlight. We had our Generations Realty talking about their real estate as well as property management. We had the ladies of Distinct Flavor Fashions talking about how they open up a business to help curate fashions for women, as well as connecting designer brands for people who don't want to pay full price. And listen, I'm here for all of that. But again, if you want to find out any more about these businesses, make sure you check out the websites. And Kiana put them down at the bottom later on, the Distinct Flavor Fashions, as well as generationrealty.com. If you're looking to home ownership, or if you have a house that you're thinking about renting and don't want to deal with the property management of it, make sure you check out those businesses as well. But until then, I know you all again have know that this platform again is for people to inspire. And if you know someone who has a story that could be an inspiration to others, or you are the inspiration, please email us at inspiredbyinanis@gmail.com. And it's inspires right here below, inspiredbyinanis@gmail.com. And make sure you're following us on all social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and it's at Inspired by Inanis. And if you want to also support the show, this platform again is here to support our youth and support others who want to be inspired by others' journeys. And make sure you do so by Cash Apping $ Kiana Tennant on Cash App right there below. And make sure you do so by sharing. You can do $1, $2, $5, 1,000, whatever your soul feels. Okay, do it all. But we thank you all for coming on and being a part of Small Business Spotlight on Inspire. I am your host, Shaw Hayes. And until then, you all be blessed.